Welcome to the New World Order Showcase Podcast. Your host, Jill Hart, the Coach's Alchemist. Couldn't be more excited to have you join us today. On this podcast, we celebrate the champions of change, the up-and-coming life, health and transformational coaches who are fearlessly stepping forward to make a difference in the world. Get ready for inspiring stories, practical tips, and powerful moments that will motivate you to make a positive change in your life and those around you. We're happy to have you join us on this incredible journey as we dive into the world of life, health, and transformational coaches who are lighting up the path towards a better tomorrow.
Hi, and welcome to the New World Order Showcase Podcast. Today we are talking with Delton Cooper. He is a life coach, and not just for musicians.
No, for everyone,
Everybody. He's got something for everybody. Tell us your story, Delton. What got you into life coaching?
Well, what got me into life coaching is I've had a challenging past with my childhood and my teenage years, and into my early 20s was a real challenge. And I never really had any sort of mentor or a father figure or any kind of real guidance to help me get through those hard times. You know, understanding what's going on in my mind and what's going on in the world. I didn't have that. So as I got older and matured and got more life experience, and I realized that this is something that's really lacking out here in our society and in our world. There's a lot of people out there that simply don't have someone to talk to, you know, to bounce ideas off of, to basically vent if you need to. Now that's not what I'm all about, but that is part of my coaching style. So it comes from a place of authenticity. It comes from a place of genuinely wanting to help and understanding that sometimes you just need to speak with someone that's not going to be in a judgmental mind state, or someone that's going to tell you what to do with your life. A lot of times people just need to sort out their own thoughts and their own processes for achieving their goals. And I think a lot of times in life coaching, a lot of coaches miss that sometime and just go with what their plan is and what they think they should do. But I truly believe that coaching should consider that all the answers are already inside of us. Sometimes we just need to be asked the right questions to bring those out. And that's what I focus on, is asking powerful questions.
That's really an important key, I think, to any kind of life help, is asking questions and not being attached to the outcome, and allowing the person space to make decisions that are best for them, but being drawn along the path to get there. So who would your ideal client be, do you think?
My ideal client is someone who wants to get more out of life. They want to create something bigger and better for their own life. You know, it's not just about someone that's like struggling or somebody that's in a bad place in life. It's also about people who are successful and want to grow that success, or people that are say they might be in an example would be somebody that have a job that they just don't want to do anymore. They don't hate it, but they want something else to motivate them and something else to kind of stir that fire inside of them. And that's what I would do. I sit down with them and I ask them questions, and we figure out what would light that fire. And once we figure out what would light that fire, now let's come up with a plan to find the fuel and the matches, and how are we going to fan this flame once it gets started?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see people needing that a lot. There's so many people that are trapped in like corporate jobs and
Mhm.
just not even just corporate jobs, just like jobs that are dead end.
Yeah.
You just go every day because you have to go. But they have something. Everybody has something that they're gifted with. And it's really interesting to get to explore those passions that are maybe have been hidden.
Yeah. Yeah. It takes me back to my childhood and the way that I was raised. I'm a Gen Xer. I'm 50 years old. I'm a Gen
Mhm.
Xer. So we were raised to get a job, stay there for 30 years, count on your retired 401k. And that's not realistic nowadays for the masses to be able to do that. If you're lucky to do that, that's awesome. But it's not for everybody. It's just too much instability and all that. So growing up with that mindset, I was always looking for that perfect job, always looking for that perfect situation that I could stay at for 20 years. And the funny thing about it is, as I went along in life and I got older, my mother, who actually one day pulled me to the side, I'll never forget it. We're sitting in a garage and said she wanted to apologize to me for something. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she wanted to apologize for the fact that she had never taught me and my sister how to dream.
Wow.
Yeah, and
That's
that was a powerful moment for me. Like, wow, I never even thought about that I was never taught how to dream. And when you're not taught how to dream, you have all these dreams inside of you that you don't legitimize. You just keep pressing down and pressing down. And then when eventually you look up, you're 20 years on the job and you really wanted to be a playwright. You really wanted to be, an architect, but you're working this corporate job that you don't want to because that's the way we were told.
where you went to school and that's where you ended up.
Mhm.
And now you're like trapped in it because you got all these obligations and you're raising families. And
Exactly.
when you're talking about those dreams being trapped inside and not being able to dream,
Mhm.
it reminded me of when I was in school and we were told, stop daydreaming.
Yes.
Daydreaming is like where ideas are born.
Yeah.
It first starts as a dream. There's people around us that have spider goats. They're goats that they're milked. They're had DNA of spiders that make
Uh,
this really strong silk spliced into them, and so they can milk the goats and synthesize the spider silk out of the milk. And it's got medical and industrial applications that they use this silk for.
yeah.
And they're just like normal goats. They're really cute and lots of fun to play with. But you have to think, who thought, okay, let's have spider goats.
Yeah. Yeah. It all starts with a dream. All starts with an ideal. An impulse. It starts
Mhm.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're not dreaming, if you're not having daydreams, if you're not like visualizing things that could be,
Mhm.
then you're just being denied like so much of the potential of your life.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can actually say that I felt at one point that I was a victim of that. But
Mhm.
I see now through coaching, the path that I walked, it led me to this exact point right here. It led me to this interview with Jill Hart. It led me right here, because I always felt that I couldn't understand why I had so many experiences and why I had been through so much and why I survived so much um, without
And didn't
serious
go to
consequences.
jail.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like I think I'm probably only one of my friends that never been to jail. Yeah, I've been to the police station on traffic tickets, stuff like that, but
Yeah.
I've never been to jail or prison. It's just I don't want to. That was never a goal of mine. So yeah.
Yeah, but it's really hard. I have kids.
Mhm.
I've been to the police station many times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because they're bad people. It's just because made some bad decisions
Yeah.
along the line.
Yeah, we were all kids and figured, I'll pay that ticket next paycheck, and the next paycheck there's a party you need to go to.
Yeah.
The next paycheck there's an outfit you need to buy.
Yeah.
I'll just drive perfect. I'll never get pulled over, and it never works. So
no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I think it's a scam anyway. So
it is. Let's not get into the insurance and the police and how all that works together too. So,
because most of it's just designed to suck money out of your pocket.
Exactly.
It's kind of like a big game.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. It really is a system. We live in a system, and part of the system is don't dream. Go to work and work for somebody else for 20 years. Yeah. And if you dream, they call you crazy. They call you oh, you're just wasting your time doing that stuff. You're just your head is in the clouds. And the thing I think about, what's wrong with my head being in the cloud? Why is that a bad thing?
The view's better up there.
Yeah, it's a lot better up there. The air is better for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It kind of reminds me of that experiment they did with the monkeys where they I forget how it goes, but it ends up the other monkeys keep pulling the monkey who's trying to get to the banana that's at the top of this thing. He knows how to get up there, but one of the monkeys along the line early on had been injured doing it, so it kept pulling the monkeys back down. And it would never let them get ahead, which is just like people do that with each other. It's just like you try to get ahead, and then there's somebody that's trying to pull you down. And it's because of these systems that have been in place. And it's just like we're taught, you go to school, you stand in line, and you don't touch your neighbor, and you don't talk in class, and you just do exactly what you're told. Don't question anything. And I think we've moved into a paradigm shift in society, at least in America, but I think it's almost worldwide, where people are saying, no, that's just not working for me. I want to do something different. There's more to my life than just getting up and going to a job and then coming home.
Yeah, that's so true. And then to go back to your theory about the monkeys, I think what I use is called crabs in a barrel. As a crab is going out, the other crabs pull it back down. And and that happens for a lot of different reasons. A lot of times it's jealousy, it's envy. Then a lot of times it's that person's own legitimate fear and experiences, and the programming they've had put in them to fear any kind of change. So they're trying to protect you by telling you, don't start your life coaching business. Don't dream. Don't you reach for that, because it might burn you. At the same time, they themselves have never reached for anything. They have no idea what the temperature is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's interesting how things are changing, though. And the more people that I talk to and that I see making a difference and stepping out, even though they might have been afraid. And, everybody can fail, but I don't think failure is like the end game. When I was young, if you got fired from a job, it was like the worst thing in the world. But now it's just like, oh, I got fired. Thanks.
Yeah.
I got a different opportunity now. It's just things that used to be like so soul crushing in the past are like, they're not even important anymore.
And that's what a lot of our my generation is realizing, that we were sold a dream, but the dream was to be a worker bee. Yeah, that was a dream they sold us. If you become the perfect worker bee, your life will be perfect. You'll be happy. And it's just not true. And I see a lot of people now reevaluating their value systems, not just their jobs, but their entire value systems. What's really important to me? Is it this work life, or is it my home life? And I think that's the perfect role for a coach, is to be a cheerleader in those situations. to say, hey, yeah, you can do it. Let's stop. Let's talk about it. Let's come up with a plan to do it. And we'll talk about your why. We'll talk about your how, and we'll come up with the plan. And the way that I coach, the most important thing is always the why. There's always the why.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then the plan.
And then the plan.
Plans are important, though.
Yeah.
If you know where you want to end up, it's
Mhm.
easier to get there than just wandering out into the street and hoping that you'll arrive at the place that you maybe sort of thought you wanted to.
Exactly.
Without
Yeah.
roadmaps are kind of important.
Yeah. And then when
Old
you
school.
figure out when people realize their own personal whys for things,
Mhm.
it actually opens up more opportunities. Because you say, okay, I want to open up my own candle shop. Well, why do you want to open up a candle shop? Well, I want to open up a candle shop because, I want people to experience nice scents and nice fragrance. I want people's houses to smell good. Well, why is that? Well, when I was a kid, my house used to always smell, and I wanted to, I always wanted candles in my house and couldn't have them. So what's your real why? And it might be something like, I really want people to have a better quality of life while they're at home.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what else could you put in your home to improve your quality of life? Well, I can do candles. I can do different drapes. I could change this. I can move my furniture. Okay, well, let's start there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just starts with asking a few questions and like moving the conversation,
Yes.
expanding it. You contract it and then you expand it, which helps people get a bigger picture of the possibilities.
Yes.
And
Yes.
sometimes people just have been like so downtrodden that they don't recognize that there's so many opportunities.
Mhm.
I think now there's more opportunities than there has ever been out there.
Yeah. And along with the opportunities, I think it goes back to our conversation. A lot of people don't even realize their own potential.
Huh.
They don't even realize that you actually can open up a candle shop if you want to. That's a legitimate, solid idea. You can do that. It's not a dream. That's a
Mhm.
reality. Let's put a plan in place to get you some candles going.
Mhm.
And a lot of people don't even, they think it's back to that whole dream thing. So
Yeah.
let's make it a reality.
There's so many ways to do just about anything these days. You can
Yes.
make money even like doing, not really producing anything tangible. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about the potential for the world right now.
Yeah.
Just
With the content creators, you just create content. You just talk. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
TikTok influencers and Instagram, and gosh, my daughter started a YouTube channel a month ago, and she's doing really well. She's like 350 subscribers, and
Awesome.
it's just like something she was doing on the side, and
Mhm.
it could really blow up for her. And it's just doing something that she enjoys doing.
Mhm.
And she's young, and she has this attitude about life where she realizes she has to make some income.
Mhm.
So she'll go and get jobs and she'll make income to, keep the roof over her head.
Yeah.
But she's always like looking out for other things, and she has so many interests, and it just makes her such a fascinating person to spend time with.
Yes. Yes. I mean, it's refreshing to be around someone like that believes in possibilities.
I think the younger generation, like I'm talking like the Gen Z people,
Yeah.
she's really young. She's like 19.
Yeah.
I have one that's 41 and one that's 19.
Oh, okay.
3 boys in between. But it's just they're more interested in producing things that feel good to them and that contribute, that are more kind of aligned with who they are and why they're here, rather than just being the worker bee thing.
It's for me, I guess I look at it like it's just having pride in yourself. You know, that's something we were never taught. We were supposed to have pride in our business and our company we work for. And these
In
kids
our
now, they grow
country.
up and they don't know anything about a corporate, corporate ladder. They don't know anything about a corporate ladder, but they do know what they love to do, and they're seeing their friends make money doing the same thing. Yeah, and they're realizing I can do it too.
Weird jobs, like, the Mike Rowe of the world, that they're doing the dirty jobs.
Yeah.
I have a kid that he works on rock crushers.
Mhm.
and there's so many opportunities for jobs like that out there for people that are just like, you're outside, you're living your life, you're not locked in a cubicle and never seeing the sun. And I think those kinds of opportunities are kind of amazing, and they're needed.
Mhm.
There's so many things out there that you can do that are just like, we need them to keep society running.
Yeah. And these kids are figuring it out one by one.
Mhm.
It's needed. Because we as parents have given them that freedom to dream,
Mhm.
because we know what it feels like to have our dreams crushed and stepped on and pushed down.
Mhm.
And we all raise our kids not wanting to be like our parents, or not wanting to hurt our kids like our parents hurt us,
Yeah,
in
but we
whatever
do it in a
form that may
totally
be.
different way.
Yeah, we're going to do it totally different. We're going to do it totally different. And I think that was one of the main things, is like, we're not going to force our kids to do anything, because we were forced to do everything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think there's a balance in there somewhere, but
Yeah, there definitely is a balance. There are some things you have to force them to do. Like some kids, you got to force them to take a bath, but
it's a little things in life.
yeah, it's always the little things too that they just refuse to do on a consistent basis. It's like,
Yeah, but
serious?
when
Go
they're
wash your car.
adults,
Go wash your car.
they're gonna come back and say, "Oh, I was so traumatized because you made me take a bath."
Yeah. So it's
I'll
all about
never make
perspective.
my kids take baths.
It's all about perspective. It's all about perspective. Yeah.
It is for sure. So, how do people work with you normally?
The way people usually work with me is I usually reach out in different ways, but right now, Facebook is probably the best way to reach me. And once you reach out, we set up a initial connect call.
Mhm.
We take about an hour out to see if we even like each other. That first call is always gifted. It's never a charge for that at all. And it's just a basic filling out session to see if you like me and I like you, because the relationship between a coach and a client is crucial,
Mhm.
because you really are affecting people's lives. You're affecting their
Yes.
families. You're affecting their work. You're affecting things in people's lives. So you want to make sure that this is a good fit. And I'm the first one to say everybody's not going to like me. I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, which is awesome. Which is awesome for me, because I want to truly be able to help someone. If I have to turn down 3 people to help one person significantly, it's worth it to me. It's worth it to me. Yeah. So that's basically how it works. And then we just sit down, we work together.
Mhm.
We work together as a team. It's not me telling you how to live your life. It's me asking you powerful questions in order for you to come up with a direction and a focus that you want to go in. What do you want to create, through these coaching sessions? And we go from there. The honest, most powerful question is, what do you want to create? And that's where we go from.
Yeah, it's giving them all the power
Yes.
to be who they were meant to be.
Yes.
Very good. So what's the one thing you want to leave the audience with today? What's the one takeaway that you hope they walk away with?
The one takeaway I hope everyone walks away from is, forgive yourself for not dreaming, But once you forgive yourself for not dreaming, start dreaming.
Just do it, as Nike
Let's do
says.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
All right. So what is your Facebook? How do they find you on Facebook?
My name is Delton Cooper. You just look me up on Facebook. You'll see my DC Life Coaching logo and all that. Or you can just send me an email at the letter D coachingkc@gmail.com. And we'll set up that, like I said, that first initial gifted session. We'll sit down to see if we've, and I hate to make it so simple, but it is, if we even like each other.
Yeah. It's really the first thing.
Yeah.
in your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Delton, I have really appreciated your time today and for you sharing with us your great insight into what makes a good life coach.
Well, thank you for having me. I definitely appreciate it.
It's
You're awesome, Jill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another empowering episode of the You World Order Showcase podcast. We hope you've enjoyed hearing from our incredible life, health, and transformational coaches who are making a profound impact on the world. Remember, change begins with you, and you have the power to transform your life and the lives of others. If you want to take that next step and unlock your true potential, visit thecoachesalchemist.com, where you can find the 3 ways we can help you for free to spin your talent into gold with clarity, a system, and a plan. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an inspiring episode. And if you enjoyed today's show, we'd greatly appreciate it if you could leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback means the world to us and helps us reach more people with our positive message. Stay connected with us on social media for updates, behind-the-scenes content, and upcoming guest announcements. You can find us on Facebook at the You World Order or simply visit thecoachesalchemist.com.